Okay, wait. Okay, let's macro zoom out, okay? So the feeling is that Democrats are just as corrupt as Republicans when it comes to what metric are we using here? Yeah.
All right. So assuming removing Nancy Pelosi, Republicans made more money insider trading. Assuming that then sure Republicans are more corrupt, and assuming that that if you were to talk about gerrymandering or playing the political game better, then sure Republicans are more corrupt because they play the game way better. Because if you were like to look at it, they're the nation's majority Democrat, I guess left leaning, and the Republicans are winning more seats and blah blah blah. So yeah, they're better at playing the game. So if that's your metric, then yeah, they're more corrupt.
No, okay, well, what if I use other metrics? Like, let's say, like, if I'm looking particularly at Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris, what if I say that Donald Trump has been convicted of more felonies? Is that a fair comparison for who's like a felon or who's been convicted of felonies?
Sure, Donald Trump has been convicted of more felonies.
Okay,
yeah.
What if I look at their financial records and I say Donald Trump has done has filed for more bankruptcies? Would that be like a fair thing to say financially? It seems like Donald Trump has made questionable decisions.
No, because that's not how bankruptcies work. But filing for a bankruptcy doesn't necessarily mean that you made a bad decision.
How not?
Okay, if your option is to like lose all of your money, right, or lose less than all of your money and file for bankruptcy, it's the better decision to file for bankruptcy, correct?
Correct. And if you have gangrene in your hand, it'd be better to amputate at the wrist than amputate at the shoulder, but you still have to amputate. If you're filing for bankruptcy, it's because you've made decisions such that you're in the danger of losing all your money. So, of course, you're filing for bankruptcy.
Okay.
So, Chicken, can we, without going into the intricacies of bankruptcy, so again, I think the theme is that we're producing evidence in terms of criminal convictions, in terms of investigations, in terms of nepotism. That's a form of corruption.
Oh, yeah, wait. For nepotism, do you agree that Donald Trump was more nepotistic than anybody that I can remember in my lifetime in terms of appointing family members to positions in the White House?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
What else?
Yeah.
No, wait. Name more things. Josiah.
I was like, so convictions, investigation, nepotism. I mean,
enriching himself in office.
Yes.
So do you agree
Jared
that?
Kushner.
So I agree. Fuck Kushner. You mentioned that you don't like the fact that the Obamas or whatever are given Netflix deals or any of this. Can you think of anybody that's tried to like sell products directly to the American people, like even one, while they were running for office or in office? Like Donald Trump is selling NFTs and parts of his suit from when he got shot at to the shoes, the cards. Has anybody else done anything like that?
I mean, I guess Nixon did some really fucked up shit while he was in office. I mean, that's the whole.
Agreed. A very corrupt Republican. Okay. What else you got?
What about by impeachment? Donald Trump got impeached twice. That's more than anybody else, right?
Yeah, it's record breaking.
Well, Clinton was only once. Yeah, so I guess he beat Clinton.
Clinton
there.
was never impeached.
Well, no. Clinton was impeached in the lower house, right?
Wait a minute. No, I don't think they brought an impeachment vote, did they?
Bill Clinton? He absolutely certainly was, yes.
Are you? Oh my God! All right, hang on.
I'm standing big on this. He certainly was. My family hated Clinton.
Oh,
okay?
He fucking was.
Yeah, of course. After Elian Gonzalez, the Cubans will never forget fucking Bill Clinton and that traitorous fuck. Okay. Okay. So on impeachment, on convictions, on what other? Oh, enriching himself in office. Nobody sold stuff like that, right?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. No. So we're on agreement.
Can you think of anybody else with a personal, direct financial conflict as much as Donald Trump, who owns properties all across the world as president of the United States and won't
as much as Donald Trump?
I'm sorry. Even like I won't make it to that level because that's obviously not fair. But are there even presidents that own like foreign businesses or whatever? Has that happened like in the past?
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay. What about lack of qualifications or held office? Like what presidents and vice presidents do you think of historically that were never governor, were never senator, were never in the House, never attorneys generals, like anything like that?
In recent presidencies, no. Like you have to go back to when there was like a teacher and like I think there was like a farmer and some other bullshit like that. There have been presidents that weren't, lawyers.
Sure.
Yeah, but not many. Most of them are lawyers.
What about, again, I will go Jared Kushner again, nepotism, because it hits 2 in 1. It's nepotism and also somebody enriching themselves after they left office as a consequence of the clout that they received while they were White House senior advisor. Did you know that Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law, received a $2 billion investment from the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia after the Saudi Arabian government's wealth advisors begged the Crown Prince not to do it because it was such a financial risk?
And I'll qualify this a little bit by saying it was a firm that Kushner worked for that received the money, but not that Republicans would care about it. But yeah.
Did you know that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia also gave multi-billions of dollars to some fucking random Japanese guy that promised he'd like triple it and like has lost it all? Or
if
like
that random Japanese person is a Democrat or the leader of the Democratic Party, that would be super relevant, but probably not.
Well, no, like you're saying the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia flush money down the toilet. I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, he's prone to do that.
No, flush money down the toilet for political reasons, for a person who wasn't qualified to manage the money as a consequence of the relationship they built while he was a White House senior advisor. For which
I'm saying he's given other people money that aren't qualified to finance, use that money either. Like
what do you think you're proving with that? I'm just.
Okay, you're saying. Like, did he do something? And I'm saying, yeah, he's done that. And like, it's. I'm just weakening it. Yeah, it's bad.
What do you mean you're weak?
Like,
what do you mean?
He's making the roundabout argument that the MBS giving money to Kushner isn't actually evidence of Kushner's malfeasance because we can show that the MBS is giving crazy money to crazy people all the time. That's what he's making the argument for.
Yeah.
Well, number one, you're not making that case. You gave a single example that if I take at face value, we're 1 for 1. And number two, the idea that he would have risky, financial investments in one respect precludes the idea that he wouldn't give or he wouldn't make risky financial investments for political reasons. No,
I'm sure he did risky financial things for political reasons. Sure, right. Most rich people give money to both parties, right?
Oh, so again, what we're back to is this, and we got.
Wait, I'm curious. Hold on, before we summarize. Okay, so I just listed a whole bunch of things that I think I can objectively run down, but I don't think we have to because I think you agreed in ways that like the Republicans or at least Donald Trump is like clearly less qualified, more corrupt, like worse objectively by objective standards and measures than the other side. How do we even, in your mind, what is like the level of corruption on both sides? Because it feels like it's still 50-50 or like 49-51.
It's like probably like 30-70.
70 being the Republicans?
Yeah, sure. But like where does even further down? No. But even, okay, so then I'll ask for one more time then, okay? Rather than like Netflix deals, which don't even happen when they're in office anymore, like can we think of one, like what was our strongest point of like corruption on the Democrat side? What is the strongest point that we're thinking?
All right, here, Destiny or Steven, if I may.
Yeah.
Will you grant me that Donald Trump is very, very, very stupid and transparent? And if you were just to remove like all of his shenanigans and just go Republicans and Democrat parties, like it's pretty close.
No, I wouldn't grant that.
No.
So without Donald Trump and like all of his shenanigans, it's still.
I think Republicans are worse. I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as it is now, but I think they're still worse than Democrats.
I'm just saying, like, it's easier to catch him because he's so bad at it and doesn't understand.
Easier to catch him.
It's because he's doing worse.
Away from becoming president of the United States,
and he's doing worse stuff. He's doing worse stuff.
Well, he doesn't know the rules like the people that are the lawyers.
No, he knows the rules.
Are you sure? I mean, like, he didn't go to law school. He doesn't know didn't he like?
I'm almost certain. I don't know if this is hyperbole, but I've read this somewhere that he is like the most sued person in like New York business or something. Like he has been party to an historic number of lawsuits. This man obviously is stupid and doesn't have legal training, but he also has political instincts as well. So yes, I think
hold on. No, I'm sorry. Just it's very, very, very clear proof. Okay, if he was an idiot and he didn't know, then he would have just listened to the White House counsel, but he didn't. He went and he explicitly found people that supported him and hired those people. Why is the president of the United States, who thinks that the states have engaged in voter fraud, relying on private legal counsel instead of the Department of Justice or the Office of Legal Counsel within the Department of Justice? Why would he go and get private attorneys to do that unless he knew that he was full of shit?
I don't know. Narcissism's a hell of a thing, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, I appreciate this. We got other people to talk to.
Yeah.
But
Hey, real fast. Like one last thing for Destiny. Hey, Destiny, do you think like the last 2 or 3 months of you doing all the January 6th stuff it's going to move the needle more than if you just convince people that haven't registered to vote to like go and register to vote? Like, don't you think you're going to convince more people that like aren't part of the whole voting process than like Republicans to switch?
I'm gonna step in for Steven. Won't glaze himself, but I will. Do you know what he and Progressive Victory are doing with?
Don't care. Do you know what the real answer is? I don't give a fuck. I don't live my life in a way to optimally mobilize voters. I do the things that I enjoy doing, and I hope to make an impact on the things that I enjoy doing. So would I have been more effective, like live streaming in the streets every single day with my audience saying, guys, we're going to go out and either knock on doors or registered, unregistered voters or blah, blah, blah all the time or whatever? Maybe I could have registered more voters. That's not what I enjoy doing. That's not my strength. I do other things better, and I prefer to do those things. So if I had said my goal is to get as many people out to vote as possible, and that's why I'm going to invest all this time in this particular thing, then you would be right. But that's not my goal. My goal
I thought your goal was to elect Kamala or whatever, or help elect Kamala.
I don't know who that person is.
Kama is not Kamala. What is it?
Miss Harris?
Yeah.
Vice President Harris.
Yeah, Vice President Harris.
Yeah, the Democratic running candidate.
Wait, he said it correctly. I'm just kidding. I think I just busted your balls for no reason. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Fucking dick.
I was actually checking to make sure you even knew. But no, I mean, like, yeah, I would want them to be elected, but I'm not like an operative for the party. I don't get paid by the fucking party, and I don't dedicate my whole life to just the election. Like, there are things that I think that I do well, and those are things that I focus on, and that's the thing that I'm more interested in right now than just mobilizing voters all day.
Chicken Sandwich, is your goal to do good in the world?
Depends on the day.
True.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully the day that you decide to do good in the world is November 5th, and you're an eligible voter, and you'll.
Oh, dude, I'm California, dude. My vote doesn't matter.
Gotcha. Well, listen, we appreciate the conversation. Remember, there are meaningful differences between things in life. You're able to recognize it, apparently, in every other sphere than politics. All you have to do is just to apply the same critical thinking prism to politics, and you'll be a proud Democrat.
I love how I said my vote doesn't matter, and you're saying.
So listen.
Hold on. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just when I say that, like, people have people know things, and then the politics shuts their brain off. Do you know that Slate Star Codex or whatever, that Scott Alexander guy, blogger dude?
Something about the in-group, out-group, or whatever.
Yeah, he does all that shit. They have their own community or whatever. But he wrote an article, or somebody in that community wrote an article. I think it was him, and he called it he coined this as, he called it the non-central fallacy. I don't know if this was named before him or not, but it's just this idea that, like, and we all know this to be true intuitively, okay? That you say something hoping to invoke the primary normative baggage of a term, knowing that the person exists on the perimeter of the term. For instance, Martin Luther King was a fucking criminal, right?
Yeah.
Which he was, but like when you say criminal, the normative weight that you're loading that word with is very clearly coming from an area that doesn't represent the type of crime that MLK did, right?
Yeah,
People know this intuitively. Like you, of course, you know this intuitively. Like everybody knows this intuitively. But people's brains like shut off when they start making crazy arguments for the guy that does MDMA engages in the same level of self-harm as a person that is like engaged in like cutting their whole body up or whatever. It's just like, I don't know.
No, 100%. That's why I despise. That's why since the very beginning, since you and I met, and it's a mission statement on my channel, is I despise enlightened centrism. It's not that people say, oh, the Democrats are perfect. No, nobody's saying that. But to the extent that you criticize the Democrats, I think you should put it in perspective. Number one, make your criticisms as factually based as possible. Number two, do it certainly without claiming, but I would argue even insinuating that the two parties are comparably bad. That's why, to the extent that I pick on the left at all, like Brianna Joy Gray or whoever, like that we're considering the left, is when they create false equivalences.
Yeah.
Most people who employ false equivalences are smart enough not to do so in any other aspect of life.
Yeah.
For all the examples that
you
we
never
cited.
would. Yeah, of course. You would never do it in any other aspect of life, right?
Right. Instinctively, they would like let's use the crime thing as an example. Like, let's say that you have to share a cell with somebody, and somebody, again, just they're in the drunk take or whatever for jaywalking, and then the person, the adjacent cell is a serial rapist, right? You wouldn't go, well, they're both criminals, so fuck it, I don't care. You instinctively in your lizard brain recognize meaningful distinctions, but when it comes to politics, these assholes just
shut their brain off. Yeah. Or even that lesser of two evils thing. Let's say that you flunked a class in school and you know that you're fucked. Your parents are going to be super pissed off at you. You know that mom and dad are going to be mad, but you know that dad is going to be ultra fucking mad, right? You go to mom first. No kid is in the room like, well, if I have to choose between the lesser of two evils, I'd rather not choose it all. Fuck no. You go to mom and you make the best case you possibly can for why you flunked whatever fucking class you did, and you I'll do extra chores, blah, blah, please. Just like, let's go to dad and talk about. You absolutely choose between the lesser of two evils all the fucking time. And the idea that, like, for some reason, when it comes to voting, oh, now it's fucking impossible. Bullshit.
No, 100%. Folks, if you want to defend Trump and MAGA, step up, raise thine hands. We're going to first go to Tank Engine because he called me out on Twitter.
We'll do two more. Also, I'm doing a debate against Owen Schroyer in a couple days, and then I'm doing that Jubilee thing in like 4 days, the 1v20 thing. So I've been writing down the things we're talking about because I figure all these will come up. So this is doubling as my debate prep. I may see
you in for the Schroyer thing because it's just an hour south of me. So.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I got dragged in. Holy,
what's up, buddy?
Mute. All right.
Are you here to defend MAGA and Trump?
No.
You fucker. You lied to me.
But Josiah, you have called me out in DGG before.
All right.
Okay, and I am a split ticket voter in most cases.
Okay.
So let's talk about labor unions, Josiah, because I don't think Destiny would actually disagree with me on anything here.
All right, what's up?
Josiah, why do you think it's okay that two unions can hold all import and export commerce via ocean hostage to demand better pay?
Who are the unions, and what are you talking about?
The International the Longshoremen's Union on the East Coast and the Longshoremen's Union on the West Coast.
Are you talking about the recent settlement?
He's probably talking about the strike that happened recently at the.
And hold up, I'm not even just talking about the strike. I'm talking about in like theory, like economic theory. Why do you think that this behavior is okay for us to like? We're granting specific warrant to these unions to do it via the current way that labor law is written.
When have I ever claimed that that's the case? I don't even know what my
wait, no, stop. Stop. NLRB law, Josiah, do you think that the current state of labor law in the United States is okay?
I think it's better under Biden than it was under Trump.
Stop. I didn't say anything about that. I'm saying, do you think that these longshoremen's unions should be allowed to behave in the way they are legally?
Wait, let's be a little bit more precise. Are you saying should people not be allowed to strike or what?
No. Okay, specifically, let's talk. So we have specific laws on the books regarding certain logistics workers unions. This, I believe, is Taft-Hartley.
Okay.
Which allows the president to, in certain cases, injunct labor union strikes because obviously we don't have a system where you totally could have a labor union.
Yeah, you wouldn't want like the entire Department of Energy going on strike and our nuclear weapons are like unattended. That would probably be unacceptable.
Yeah, and so we have laws in the books that do allow people to, or specifically the president, to inhibit these strikes. But nevertheless, these unions still can go on strike. They do go on strike. The Locomotive Engineers Union, the Longshoremen's Union, they do go on strike. They cause large commerce disruptions, and then they demand dramatically higher than market rate salaries, and they demand extremely inefficient business practices. Why is this an okay status quo?
If everything you say is true, it sounds awful, but I don't know what the fuck that has to do with me. When have I commented on the Longshoremen's Union?
Because Josiah, you go on stream constantly and will opine in great depth. I give Destiny a lot of credit because at least in the past he has gone into a lot of separate issues related to politics, and he's given nuanced takes about specific, economic issues that he might disagree with the party line on. But you constantly go on stream.
Hey, whoa, hang on here. What is your beef with me specifically? We're looking to compete with, or like face off with MAGA and Trump supporters. If you have beef with me, what is it specifically?
Because you will constantly go on stream and basically be a shill. And that's totally cool. It's cool to be a shill. Just never see you go on stream and give a contrarian take.
Wait. What's inherently valuable about a contrarian take?
Ooh.
A contrarian take to your own shilling.
The earth is flat. Wait a minute.
Your own shilling. If you were giving contrarian,
the earth is flat.
Wait. What is Josiah? Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. The Earth is flat. That's a contrarian take. Is there inherent value in that?
Sorry.
Is that no? I'm asking.
Josiah, I misspoke. I'm going to admit I misspoke.
Yeah, he misspoke. He doesn't mean that you need to be contrarian. He's saying that he feels like you're not being critical of a position that you'd be critical for otherwise, but you're just not doing it because you want to show for the Biden administration. But the question is, has Josiah ever come onto my stream and explicitly supported this particular strike, or what?
No, he hasn't. I was hoping that I would come on and give a take that I thought that was very obviously true. That because the Democratic Party line currently is against that take, Josiah would just jump and hit the bait. Now, I'm very satisfied that he hasn't. I will openly admit it. I'm impressed that he didn't.
Right. So now that I'm vastly superior to your expectations, we got to move on. I appreciate it. I'm better. Vote Democrat. So let's move on to somebody who wants MAGA and Trump. Let's go. And by the way, Tank Engine, hit me up in DMs if you would like to discuss something on which I have a legitimate disagreement, please.
So he came in with no argument? Well, he came in expecting Josiah to defend it, and Josiah didn't.
Right.
Good job. Good job. Good job, Jesse.
Very clever. Thank you. So anybody? Do we have a MAGA supporter in chat? Let's see. What about, I see the right girl. The right girl says conservative Trump 2024. She's not in the queue, but she's pro-MAGA. The right girl, would you like to join?
What does in the queue mean?
So there's like I don't know if you see this, but there's like 19 requests to speak, and I don't see anyone that's explicitly MAGA.
Well, they're requested. They should be MAGA, right?
Well, no, clearly not. The last person who requested to join is not MAGA. While we're waiting on them, what about Anon? Anon, you are on the air.
Oh crap! Did I just get picked for this?
You did.
Hell yeah! First of all, hey Destiny, I really like your takes that you've done on geopolitics. Yeah, no. So I'm going to be voting specifically Republican. I don't want to say MAGA. I'm not a big fan of Trump either, but I will be voting on it just based off the cultural war. I've seen, and I could be wrong on this, but I've seen such a level of rhetoric that his anti-Semitism, Jew hatred that is coming from our colleges. Not only that, I've seen a level of anti-American, anti-Western values. So at this point, like, honestly, my vote is just to like signal to them, like, enough's enough. Kick them out.
What are American values that you're referring to? Can you give some examples?
Yeah, no worries on that. So let's see, American values. It's a good question.
Well, how about let's run, because these mean a lot to me right now, okay? How about the Constitution? Have you seen anybody on the left try to undermine the Constitution in the same way that Donald Trump has? For instance, when Donald Trump says things like, I would suspend the Constitution.
Yeah, so Destiny, let me raise this then. So Kamala Harris, she has violated the Fifth Amendment rights of many people.
Wait. According to who?
Do you not deny that that there was courts that pushed to her office saying that you have incriminating evidence that you have evidence that proves that this person is not guilty? You need to release it. Is that not do you not think that's not a Fifth Amendment violation?
I don't know if that counts. You're talking about like exculpatory evidence withholding or whatever. This is a Brady violation, right? I don't know. Is this a real thing that actually happened? If I go and look this up and I actually read about the story, did this actually happen, or is this another conservative lie?
I honestly, like, you can look it up, sir, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty well documented that there was exculpatory evidence that a court had to basically tell them, you will release this evidence. It's happened on a few occasions. So when I say this too, is like, listen, I understand. I used to be in law enforcement and we had to call out our dirty cops. And I think that was a good thing. But we also should talk about prosecutors. Prosecutors enjoy full immunity. And
hold on.
With that,
wait. When you say full immunity,
yes, sir.
What do you mean by that?
That's what the Supreme Court did. That's what the Supreme Court. That's what they described it as.
Hold on. Immunity. I believe that prosecutors enjoy immunity from civil penalties or civil lawsuits that are connected to them performing their job. Like, you can't sue a prosecutor for which is, I'm pretty sure that's basically equal up and down through the executive, from police officers and qualified immunity all the way up to, I think judges also have a form of immunity where a judge can't be sued for civil stuff, right?
Yeah, but so the Supreme Court defined it as such, as full immunity. This is the case law on that.
Yeah, but not criminal immunity. You keep saying full immunity, but it's not full immunity from everything. It's not criminal immunity. It's just for civil stuff.
Okay. Yes, sir. If we're going to define it down, yes. I'm just saying what the language they use. But what I'm saying, though, is that we do see prosecutors doing have you guys heard of the Jay Gardner case?
I feel like I heard the name, but it's been a while. Maybe Josiah remembers or knows more?
No, I have no idea who that is.
Okay, I mean, I don't want to take up too much of y'all's time.
Yeah, so can you be really concise, because like you're making the argument that somehow that there have been Fifth Amendment violations, and even if we were to grant you all that, and the reason why I guess I would kind of want to skip it, like just for the sake of argument, even if I granted you that somewhere along the way during her prosecutorial career there were potential Fifth Amendment violations, Donald Trump has publicly called for the termination of the entire document. So not just the Fifth Amendment, but 1 through 27. So wouldn't that be a bigger problem?
Yeah, so I can accept that premise. Okay, so let me go. Okay, I can't argue against that. So just let me go with this. Okay, sure. I'm a mixed person. I'm half black and half white. Okay. I will be voting specifically against cultural wars for out of nowhere. We have seen identity politics become more toxic than ever. And then I see people saying like, oh, well, these people can be racist. And listen, this is the only definition of racism. It is prejudice solely based off of ethnicity, race, skin color. Like there's no power. Like this is Marxist ideology when they push this.
So like saying that Haitians are eating dogs and cats with no evidence?
Yeah, so I guess you could say that is racist, absolutely. But what I'm trying to tell you is like, Destiny, do you not think that there is anti-white rhetoric coming from the left, when they call someone a cisgender male?
For people older than 22, no. I think that this is largely a problem with kids, and I think it's largely a problem with kids with social media accounts at colleges. When you've got like organizations or like big groups like White Dudes for Harris and stuff, I don't believe it's as big a problem on the left as the right would like it to be made out to be.
And again, like even if it were, has Kamala Harris said anything equivalent or comparable against white people as Donald Trump has said, against brown people like Haitians?
So like, first of all, okay, so if we're going to frame it like that, has Donald Trump actually said stuff that's entirely racist?
Yeah.
And so you're going to frame it from the dogs and cats, correct?
Yeah. I think that making unsubstantiated claims and signal boosting them that a group of brown-skinned people are eating cats and dogs, I think that's a pretty racist trope, especially when you have no evidence.
Okay, but so his running partner is J.D. Vance, and if his constituents are saying this is something they see, are you trying to tell me that the people of Springfield, Ohio, are inherently racist?
No, I don't think the people of Springfield, Ohio are making these claims. I think they were made on the internet by people on the internet. Just like I don't think there are real people in North Carolina who are witnessing FEMA blocking aid or whatever. These are just stories that are being fabricated and then amplified by people on social media.
Right. Okay. We actually have people. We have people in Springfield, some of whom were close to the genesis of these conspiracy theories. Like the woman who shared the meme that her neighbor's cat had gone missing. She's gone on the record and apologizing. She's really upset because she didn't realize that it was going to create such a racist backlash. And it turned out that the story was false to begin with. They found the neighbor's cat just a few days later. So there again, here's the problem. Even if I grant you all these premises, which I don't, I'm just saying that to me it's still a losing argument anyway, because even if J.D. Vance's constituents are making these unsubstantiated claims, when they are contradicted by law enforcement in Springfield, by the mayor of Springfield, by the way, Republican, and the Republican Trump-supporting governor of Ohio, and these people, come out and say, hey, shut the fuck up. There is no evidence of these claims being true, and you're actually creating much more harm than good, then a non-racist person would be like, oh, shit, my bad. I apologize. I should not have said that. I just heard it from my constituents. I took them at their word, but you know what? Yeah, I'll stop talking about it. And instead they've doubled down.
Yeah. Hey, Josiah, let me ask you this real quick. Okay. Yes, so I'm going to accept that premise that, they definitely shouldn't have. And I agree with you that they shouldn't have brought that up.
Yeah.
But can we not agree that it's very irresponsible when we're having all-time highs in, illegal immigration to put a lot of people under this amnesty law into a city that does not have the resources to deal with it.
Wait, didn't that city explicitly called for them to go there?
Right. Yeah. I didn't want to interrupt you, Anand, but Stephen's right.
Yes, sir.
Well, so a couple of things. So Stephen's right. Springfield was seeking labor, and these legal migrants, they are legal because they are under the, I'm blanking on the fucking acronym. Stephen, do you remember what it is?
TPS? Temporary protected status?
Yeah. Exactly, which is perfectly legal. It doesn't matter how Republicans feel about it until a judge says otherwise. It's it's a legitimate program under the purview of the President of the United States. So they're here legally. They were invited to Springfield, and you have residents and legal and civic leaders in Springfield saying, hey, these are good people who are here at our invitation. They're actually helping the town. And I'll also say we are not seeing record-breaking illegal immigration. Actually, for the past 5 months, we've seen it basically cut in half because of President Biden's executive orders.
Wait. But Josiah, come on now. Like, let's at least agree that it's definitely record-breaking. Like, you can't sit there and say 3.5 years of record-breaking and be like, oh, well, we fixed it now.
The rate collectively was much higher under President Biden than the Trump administration. Yes, but here's my problem. These claims were made recently by J.D. Vance in a context in which, crossings at the southern border, contacts have been cut in half for months. So even, again, this is the problem. Even if I charitably grant you the premise, and I'm trying to be good faith here, it's still a losing argument, because if J.D. Vance had said this a year ago, then it may be more understandable. It would still be wrong, and it would still be right. But at least I guess I could see a labyrinthine bad faith argument about, well, sure, these specific anecdotes are not factual, but he just said it in the heat of the moment because right now we're experiencing record-breaking, crossings at the southern border. But that's not happening. There is no good faith predicate for what J.D. Vance and Donald Trump have done.
Also, I don't think any of the illegal immigration, I don't think it's even a big deal. Do you really think it's affecting us?
Yeah, and so honestly, do you live in a border state?
No, do you?
Well, I don't want to dox myself, but yes, I do. Honestly, I do want to say this is like, it does drain resources. If you have a very large level of influx.
No, I don't think it does. I don't think it affects
let me just say this. If we have a very large influx of people at a very quick rate, yes, our social service do get, I don't know, like, in law enforcement, if you talk to a law enforcement officer, they can tell you that, yes, this does create a heavy strain on our social services.
No,
and maybe
I can prove. Yes, sir. Do you work right now as a police officer?
No, I'm done with it, man. I'm done after
Do you have friends that are cops?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I can prove right now that the illegal immigration is having basically no impact right now in the United States, okay? Who do you support more for illegal immigration right now? Trump or Harris?
My bad, I was muted. I don't know. And here's the thing: is like immigration really isn't my largest one, but
I understand.
I support Trump. I support Trump.
So on this issue, so it doesn't matter then, because there was a border bill and Trump blocked it. So if it was a really big deal, you probably would have felt more strongly about that. But you have no idea if it's affecting you or not. You don't even know. That's why it doesn't matter if the bill was blocked or not, right?
Yes, sir. Destiny. But come on, can we not sit there and acknowledge that it's how convenient is it that you determine that, oh my God, this open borders policy is not something that's winning the American people over. So we need to do something about it now. 3.5 years later, whenever Trump was there, we did not have this, quadruple level. So what I'm saying to you is basically it's of course they want to fix it because now they know there's wrong. It's just like to defund the police, where they're just oh yeah, this isn't, the public doesn't like this.
Literally none of that matters, right? If I went to the hospital and they said, oh, you don't have cancer, and 3 months later I go and I'm like, hold on, check again. I've got this massive fucking growth in my fucking back. And they look at it oh shit, you do have cancer. The doctor wants to come in and do surgery immediately. I'm never saying to the doctor, well, actually, you misdiagnosed me, so fuck you. I'm going to wait for the other doctor to show up in 6 months when he comes back from his vacation. Fuck you. You would say, okay, well, thank you for finally acknowledging it. Can we fucking fix it? So it's not an issue. It's just a political game. It's some shit that you meme about on Twitter because at the end of the day, you don't know or don't give a fuck, or it really has no impact whatsoever. Because there's no way that you look so indifferently at the solution if it was actually a huge fucking problem. There's just no way. It's not possible. You would be incensed that Donald Trump blocked the bill that would have helped to alleviate these issues.
Destiny, I have to disagree with you on this, though, because what did they do? As soon as Donald Trump, he only had, 2-3 million people that had went through their border, and then they slash all that stuff that prevented it. And after 3.5 years, they show up and are like, oh my God, the American people don't like this. I hear what you're saying with your story right there, but come on, man. You have to at least concede to that, right?
Anon, but here, no, he shouldn't, because here's the problem. You should check out, there's a right-wing think tank called the Cato Institute. They've been respected for decades. They've written extensively on this. So Title 42 and Remain in Mexico, the meme is that these things were just like a panacea to undocumented immigration. And it's not true. We actually saw the rates of undocumented border crossings raise even after Trump invoked Title 42 and remain in Mexico. So it clearly wasn't this like, one-shot kill to, border crossings, number one. Number two, the fact of the matter is that when Trump was president, there were issues at the southern border. As a matter of fact, in part, there were 2 government shutdowns under Donald Trump, 2018 and then at the end of 2018 into 2019, 2 separate ones that were in part fueled by Donald Trump demanding that Congress take action to basically comply with his vision for the southern border in terms of increased legislation, increased funding, the wall. So Donald Trump did have issues with the southern border. Now, you can say that the issues were worse under President Biden, and I would agree with that. But it wasn't perfect. He didn't have it all under control. And to the extent that he did have it relatively low, it was because of COVID. So unless we're going to blame, Donald Trump for COVID, and basically count that as a policy win, and we can blame him for all the other shit that went wrong with COVID, this isn't really a winning argument.
Gotcha.
The fact that
just let me say this real quick.
Sure.
Okay? So yes, COVID absolutely is affected this influence a lot, and we've seen like both sides try to pick and choose from it.
Yeah.
What I guess I would say on this is that COVID happened at the end of Donald Trump's presidency. So it's not like he had these extreme highs even during then. But no, you know what? I can see to this argument. Let me just ask this for other great speakers that want to get up here. So let me ask you guys this. And Destiny, like honestly, you have my full respect on how you've seen the Middle East. I've been to the Middle East, and I've seen a lot of our leftists, not Democrats, who try to paint this picture as if Israel is the oppressor, but like over half of the Israeli population are descendants of those who were ethnically cleansed out of the Middle East. This is a story of them consolidating and protecting themselves against extremism.
Okay. I don't know what you want me to say, but okay.
Yeah, so Anand, I've got a question for you before you leave.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Remind me, where are you on voting? You said you're going to vote for Trump. You're going to vote for the Republicans?
I'm voting Republicans. I don't even like to say I'm voting Trump. I don't like Trump, but I will be voting Republican this year, sir.
But will you be voting for the Republican candidate for president?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So here's where I'm kind of frustrated by this. And again, you've been very pleasant. We appreciate the conversation. But at the end of the day, you began this conversation saying appealing to American values. And what I go back to is only one of the candidates has publicly demanded that the Constitution be terminated in order to return him to an unlawful second term. He made that comment in December 2022, so nearly 2 years into President Biden's term. He basically said, hey, if you have to shred the Constitution to put my orange ass back in the White House, do it. We've never seen anything like that before. And it sounds like you are generally a conservative person, which is fine. And I want you what?
No, I'm definitely. Dude, I've never voted Republican till this year, but yes, sir.
You're not a conservative person.
Yes, sir.
Interesting. Okay. Well, it sounds like you have some conservative takes, but that's fine.
Okay.
So we'll delete that part. Okay. The question is, does it sound pretty American to demand that you terminate the most important document to America in order to return you to power? Okay, that's one question. Number two, the peaceful transfer of power is the single most important civic tradition that we have in this country. It was the tradition established by President Washington, reaffirmed by President Adams when he transferred power to Jefferson, who was an opposing figure of the opposing political party, and it was unobstructed until Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the only president to resist the peaceful transfer of power. Is that American? And then the other thing I would ask is, what about a guy who says, hey, listen, I know we kind of like don't do that whole monarchy thing, but I love the idea of sovereign immunity that, King, Charles has over in Great Britain, this idea that, the chief executive can't be held any like criminally accountable, demanding that. And his attorneys to the United States Supreme Court saying that the president should have immunity from ordering SEAL Team 6 to assassinate political rivals. Is that American? At the end of the day, Donald Trump is the least American presidential candidate we've ever had. And given what he has said and what he's done, a true patriot, in my opinion, would be willing to vote for Democrat, even if they disagree with him about the southern border, even if they think that Democrat as a prosecutor violated someone's Fifth Amendment protections. just Donald Trump is objectively anti-American in ways that no Democrat is.
Yeah. So Josiah, this is what you do, and it's a very good question. I can only try to kick back a little bit on it. There's definitely a lot of framing going on in that question. And I know you're in good faith, and I appreciate that because, a lot of people just try to dunk on everyone. Let me say this, okay? So when we start looking at, we cannot sit there and say that the Democrats have not challenged elections. They still, we'd be hard pressed not to find a Democrat that doesn't sit there and say Russian collusion was involved.
I'm so glad you said that. Let's stop right there.
Let's roll into it.
No. I don't mean stop right there as an end the conversation, because this might even perk Stephen up. I'm glad.
Yes, sir.
Because nobody's talking about challenging elections. Stephen, you want to jump in at any time because I don't want to hog this.
You're good.
Go
for it. No, you're good.
I was just going to say, there's a difference between challenging elections, which you do have the legal right to do, and demanding that the Constitution be terminated. There's a difference between filing suit in court to try to, demand audits, recounts, present evidence, and concocting a fake elector scheme. There's a difference between these things. So even if I grant you again the premise that Democrats have challenged the results of elections in the past, they have gone nowhere near to the legal or cultural extremes as Donald Trump. And just like we talked about with the previous person that we roped in, there are meaningful differences that are worth recognizing. Do you recognize?
Wait. Did they not challenge the electorate in what was it, 2004? Or which one was it? Didn't they challenge the electorate?
What do you mean they challenged the electorate?
My bad. I just muted myself. I'm sorry, sir.
No, it's okay.
Let's just take a look on challenging the electorate. I'm pretty sure that was it under Kerry where they challenged the electorate, first of all, which is a presidential act. But can I say this too, is that this is nothing new. Like, it's not immunity for doing crazy shit. Like, it's immunity underneath your,
No, it is new. It is new. Okay, so a couple of things. Wait a minute. It is new. No president prior to Trump has operated under the assumption that they were entitled to criminal immunity. Why was President Nixon pardoned by President Ford?
Because it was a gentleman's code, right? Or just a code, correct?
Why would he
could you imagine if someone...
why would he need a pardon if he was entitled to presidential immunity?
So I would say this is that when we open a door to charging our elected officials, here... Also,
just real quick, when you say opening the door to charging election, you're talking about opening a door to letting election officials commit crimes with impunity, just to be clear.
What crimes? It's like crimes do have a certain thing. So if you guys look in a lot of your states, go ahead and take a look at it. Your senators have immunity while they're in session.
Yes.
Justin, no, don't agree with that. Just to be clear,
wait a minute.
Nobody has criminal immunity. Criminal immunity.
No, it's 100%.
He's referring to the speech and debate clause, Stephen, which maybe I'm wrong on that. I do think that.
You can't be charged with like a crime of conspiracy or whatever when you're doing speech and debate on like the fucking. Is that even?
What's the big goddamn difference there? That was written into the immunity. Constitution, Anand. No. That's the point. Wait a minute.
Okay, I hear you.
No. You've said so many things that are worth responding to. So let's work backwards. The speech and debate clause was enshrined into the Constitution explicitly by the Founding Fathers. They knew how to write criminal immunity. Why did they do it specifically in a very narrow instance for some actions of legislators, but didn't do it at all for the president?
Hey, Josiah, so what I'm saying, what I was bringing in is look at your states. Look at your penal code in your states. There is immunity to your members that, your senators, your Congress, all this stuff. There's immunity when they're in session. It is to prevent this type of behavior where someone's like, well, I'm just going to go after you. Do you guys really think that New York charges those felonies?
Wait a minute. We can't. We're not going down all these rabbit holes. We got to.
Yes, sir.
So listen. Legislative immunity in very particular instances is a protection. It's a check to protect legislators from an executive who may try to punish them using law enforcement. The Founding Fathers wrote that into the Constitution. And again, very specific, very tailored. It didn't give senators and Congress people sweeping immunity, very specific, very tailored, and none for the chief executive. The point is the Founding Fathers knew how to write an immunity into the Constitution. They chose deliberately not to for the president. So number one, right? You can appeal to the legislature all you want, but it actually serves my argument more than yours, because it means, oh, well, the founders clearly recognized that there were some things protecting legislatures from, but not the executive, number one. Number two, the Nixon thing, going back to it, the fact of the matter is the only reason you would pardon President Nixon is if both you and Nixon understood that Nixon could be prosecuted. If Nixon was immune, if he was entitled to presidential immunity, which according to Watergate prosecutors, he would have been entitled. We actually have people who investigated Nixon around the time of the Watergate scandal. And they said if Trump v. United States was law of the land during the age of Nixon, Nixon would not have needed the pardon. Nixon probably wouldn't needed to resign from office, because what he would have done would have been covered by presidential immunity. Clearly, Nixon and Ford understood that Nixon could be prosecuted. As a matter of fact, we don't even need to speculate, because Ford even said it explicitly in his speech about why he pardoned Nixon.
Josiah, let me ask you this. So do you think they use a threat of law to make him step down?
No, it was the threat of impeachment. It was a threat of
impeachment. But it sounds like that they were using no, we could actually charge you for this. So
no. It was,
yes, sir.
Well, wait a minute. So there was the threat that Nixon could be prosecuted after he left office. But the reason that he was forced to resign at the time was because it was such a scandal that a president would do that his own party walked into the White House and said, hey, you're going to be impeached if you don't resign. And if you don't resign and you're impeached, enough Republicans are going to vote to convict you. So you'll be kicked out of office anyway. But the bottom line is there probably would have been no scandal sufficient to merit his resignation if we have a Supreme Court ruling say, hey, you're immune from the Watergate scandal. So the point is, no president understood, no president believed that they were entitled to criminal immunity. So I'm sorry, this is an
Josiah, can I say this though? When we talk about this with the charges stuff, no, you might not be immune, or maybe they were immune to this prosecution, but you're not immune to the populist point of view. Whenever you do some dirty shit like that, it's like, yeah, dude, guess what? Yeah, it's going to come in. You have to get the votes. It goes through. Hey, Josiah, let me say this. Do you fully believe in our balance? Do you think that we have a quality and we have checks and balances?
Of the three branches?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Not enough. As a matter of fact, I think the Supreme Court needs to be checked the fuck out. I think there need to be more checks imposed on the United States Supreme Court. But yes, I do think as a general proposition, we have checks and balances in this country.
Yes, sir.
And I think one has been eroded. I think one has been eroded in terms of presidents. This idea that former presidents can't be prosecuted after they leave office gives them license to commit crime with impunity.
Yeah, but shouldn't if we were to say that, shouldn't Trump have prosecuted Hillary Clinton? We definitely had charges.
Well, hang on. So number one, Trump did try to prosecute Hillary Clinton. This is, again, a meme. It's really frustrating. Trump not only called for Hillary Clinton to be prosecuted, he repeatedly, privately and publicly, tried to pressure his Justice Department to prosecute Hillary Clinton. It's just that they couldn't find evidence of a crime.
So I think it's pretty clear that there was evidence of it. You definitely can't just delete.
I'm not an attorney.
Yes,
maybe
sir.
You are. Maybe you are. But the professional attorneys at the Department of Justice under Donald J. Trump disagreed.
I got you. So just let me say this, Josiah. Honestly, there's a lot of us that think that our Department of Justice, especially with the prosecution with the felony charges that came from New York, they had a number. Real quick.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
The entire premise is wrong. The New York charges came. They're at a state level. They have nothing to do with the Justice Department.
Yes, no, it does though, because so hear me on this. The number 3 man in the Department of Justice just drops down and becomes a prosecutor. Can we not agree?
No, wait a minute. No, because he left the Justice Department. He was not acting as a member of the Justice Department.
Come on, dude. He just left it out of just goodwill.
Wait. Hang on. At best, and I don't grant you this, but the best you're going to get from this, in theory, is that one guy at the DOJ really wanted to fuck over Trump. And to fuck over Trump, he left the DOJ and had no power or resources of the DOJ to go join a state prosecution against Donald Trump.
And that's awful. and that's awful. Do you not think that that's corrupt as fuck right there?
Wait, hold on. Who are we even talking about right now?
Right. So,
Yeah. Okay. My bad, guys.
No.
I'm sorry.
Wait, no, it's not your bad. Hold on. I just want to be clear. Who are we talking about right now?
he's talking about the guy, the number 3, who's the guy whose name escapes me, left the DOJ to go join Alvin Bragg to prosecute Donald Trump, and he's like, that proves that the DOJ is corrupt.
Hold on. Wait. Why would that even prove that? Let's assume that all that's true. Yeah. Couldn't we literally just say this guy really did think that Donald Trump committed a crime, and so he wants to do his best to help another team, and he's like, well, fuck it, I'm going to leave this and go do this particular thing? Like,
yes, sir. Desi, so let me ask you this: do you really think
no,
that
wait.
charges...
I just want to ask. Like, couldn't that legitimately be a thing?
Like, yes, it could, but does it seem serious when you say that?
Does it what?
Does it seem like it's plausible when you say that, sir?
Well, yeah. I might be totally making this up or thinking of something different. Didn't Mueller, or were there people around Mueller that had to either leave their positions or their private work or their jobs or something to go and perform like part of that investigation? Was that a thing? I feel like I remember seeing people talk about this.
I think this is precedence. I think this is precedence to the level that this happened.
Matthew Colangelo was the guy's name. Yeah, but Anand, here's the problem. I'm not sure what you're even suggesting because, again, number one, you could interpret it that he really believed that Donald Trump was guilty and that's why he left to go join the case. Number two, it could be, even if we granted you that guy really just had a grudge against Trump, that is one man who left the DOJ and is not proof that the entire institution is corrupt.
No,
yes,
I wouldn't even grant that. What is the
I'm
evidence?
Not saying,
no,
I'm
I know,
not
but you're
saying
saying even if you were to grant it.
Even if we did.
But I don't want. Why would we even grant that? Hold on. Just to be clear, is there a shred, any evidence whatsoever that this is what happened? That it was like a corrupt act or anything?
No.
I mean, no, it's definitely in the case. Yes, the DOJ, the top guy decided to step down, and he joined a state prosecutor.
It's the third
I know.
guy. There's no,
Wait. The attorney general stopped out?
Sorry, guys.
Wait, what are you talking about?
There's no, he's not. That's what I'm saying. It's the third ranking guy, Michael Colangelo. And again, it's not corrupt. There's nothing inherently corrupt about some person leaving the federal government to go
Michael
work
Colangelo, American former baseball player.
It's weird, though, correct? Is it not weird?
Weird and corrupt are not the same. I know Donald Trump is both.
I don't even know if it's weird. Wait, what's the name of this guy? Fuck, somebody give me the fucking name. Or type it out.
Try Matthew Colangelo.
Hey, I don't want to get smoked on this, but hey, let me ask you this, though, okay? So... do you think that once this gets to the New York State Supreme Court, that's not going to get shot down? Because they literally had changed. This is a precedent ruling that they did to enforce that law.
It may get struck down, and maybe for good reason. And you know what that would be? That would just be proof that our flawed justice system worked in Donald Trump's favor. Okay.
Yeah, but
if we're not there yet, we don't know what the state courts will decide. But again, do you want a king?
No, sir. But like, I believe in checks and balances. I believe in checks and balances.
So what's okay? Then what's a check against a president with sweeping immunity?
You can take a look at 2020.
What is
take a look at 2020
what is a check against a president with sweeping immunity?
It's not sweeping immunity, though. It's not. That's not how they defined it, sir.
It is. I didn't say absolute immunity. I said sweeping, and it is sweeping. What is a check against a president with sweeping immunity?
So define sweeping immunity real quick for everybody.
So again, there are 3 buckets of this. There's absolute immunity. There is presumptive immunity, and then there's no immunity.
It's for 3 different types of acts. It's either for a core exclusive power to the president, or it's for things that the president could do. So the core and exclusive, or the exclusive and preclusive, meaning only the president can do it, and it's expressly like delineated or delegated to the president. That's a absolute immunity act. It's a core power, meaning that the president can never be questioned for it, can never be judicially reviewed for it, whatever. Then the second bucket are called. They're just called official acts. And these are acts that the president might take as the job of the president, and maybe Congress could do it, or it could be delegated to somebody else. And the president has presumptive immunity here, meaning the government has to overcome the presumptive immunity in order to question about a crime. And then there's unofficial acts, which is things the president doesn't do in service of the office.
And in order to overcome the notion of presumptive immunity, you have to prove that it in no way that violating the presumptive immunity would in any way intrude upon the executive branch prerogatives. Okay, it's an excruciatingly high burden. Okay.
Also, hold on, just real quick. So it looks like Matthew Colangelo, he doesn't even have a fucking Wikipedia article. That's how irrelevant this guy is. So I'm reading here that he became the acting associate attorney general on January 20, 2021. So he wasn't even like truly He wasn't even like truly made to be a part of this position. He was the acting. Oh wait, hold on, wait. This has to be.
Destiny, I'm telling you right now that I promise you that he was a very top level DOJ official who sat down to become the state prosecutor.
Yes, an associate attorney general is rank 3. Stop saying yes or sir. Okay, associate attorney general is like, I don't know if that would be considered rank 3. I think aren't there a lot of associate attorneys general? But if it is, it's third because the next is going to be deputy and then the next is going to be your AG, right? But acting means that I think he was basically just kind of slotted in there, and he hasn't been confirmed by the Senate because they haven't had like an official, actual like new thing yet, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like he was like awarded the super ultra prestigious position, and then he quit. It sounds like he basically got promoted because other people were getting fucking fired all the time.
And even if
he took a demotion, he took a demotion.
And even if he were, it's not proof of corruption. It would just be proof that some guy leaves federal government to go work in the state government. It happens all the time. Even if this is the first time it's happened at this level of rank, it doesn't matter. Getting back to the bigger issue about presidents, you say you value checks and balances. What is a check against a president with sweeping immunity?
The Congress and Supreme Court.
Cool. Okay, let's talk about that. What can Congress do to check a criminal president with sweeping immunity?
But what are you talking about? They can do everything. We can take a look at 2020. They can do everything?
Clearly,
yeah,
not.
2020.
Okay, what did
the peaceful transfer of power?
Wait, it wasn't a peaceful transfer of power. Why do we keep saying that?
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
Guys,
no.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Stop saying yes, sir. Wait, hold on, real quick. Is the certification of the vote part of the transfer of power?
Has it not been challenged before?
Wait, holy shit! Did I just get an echo in here? I said, is the certification of the vote, is that part of the transfer of power?
Yeah, no, it's definitely. But I'm saying, has it not been challenged before?
No, not with violence. No.